What is going on, everyone? Thank you for checking out another SGN video where it's all sim all the time. This has been a highly anticipated and highly requested video for 2K23, and this is the best rotation setup video. And I'm excited to bring this video to you guys because although I've dropped it for you guys year after year, there hasn't been a ton of changes over the last couple of years. But this year, we're taking it to a whole nother level. I'm really excited for you guys. And the best part about it is if you're on PlayStation 5, I actually uploaded this for you. We'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, we're going to go over a couple of the things. We're going to talk about what has stayed the same. And what stayed the same is the method that we're going to use to build our rotation. To give you guys a very good example of that, we're going to hop in my Magic franchise here. And I'm just going to grab the Chicago Bulls real quick and take over them. So I can go over how we build our game plan. We're going to do the same thing that we've been doing for the last couple of years. We're going to use increments of 5 for our players. And as you can see here, it's pretty close. You want to pick with a 10-man rotation. You typically want to have 2 guys at 35, 2 guys at 25, and 1 at 30 for the minutes. But you can kind of tweak it however you want to. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go back through here and I'm going to just steal a couple of minutes that I'm going to need from down here so I can get this set up right. So they already have Dragic at 25, that's fine. We're going to give Levine, we're going to bump these two to 35, and we're going to bump him to 25, and Vucevic is going to go down to 30. Just for the sake of the video, of course, you can set it up however you want, but for a 10-man, you typically want 2 35s in your starter, 2 25-minute players, and 1 30-minute player. If you go 9-man rotation, we switch that up. You would go ahead and have 2 35-minute players, and you'd have 2 30-minute players in your starting rotation with 1 25-minute. But this is how we're going to do it just for 10 men because that is the most common one. And I've had several videos over the last couple years showing the 9-man. It's really not that different. So anyway, then we're going to go ahead and you're going to give your 6th man 30 minutes, 7th is 20. You can do 220 right here, 7th and 8th 20, and then your 9th and 10 get 10. It's really not that hard. I mean, you can switch it up if you want to as well. You can play around with a couple of these minutes. I do recommend 6th man getting 30, and then after that, and 7th man 20, and after that you can kind of play around with these minutes however you want to. If you want to go 15, 10, you can do that too. It's really your lineup, how you want things to look. And then what we've always done with that is gone over to our coaching. I might have just been there and backed out anyway. And then we want to go to bench depth. Make sure this is set to 10 if you're using a 10-man, or 9 if you're going to 9-man. Bench utilization, I'm not going to change it here because I'm not going to keep control of the Bulls, but this needs to be 100, okay? So it's at 55. Bench utilization for your user control team needs to be 100. Point blank. Lineup performance factor, that needs to be 100 as well. That means that if a player gets on a hot streak, you're not going to take him out just because, he's hitting his minutes. That's not how it works. Like, if they're playing well, you let them ride, right? Young and old, I always leave at 50. System proficiency preference, I always put this at 0 so that if you're trying to implement a new system proficiency and a player doesn't just match with it that well, he's not going to lose minutes with it just because of that. He'll still play, especially if he's one of your better players. And those are the main things you need to go ahead and change under your coaching game plan. And this is what we've been talking about the last couple of years. And in the past, hey guys, that's the end of the video. But like I said, we're taking it to a whole nother level this year because 2K has finally implemented some better tools for it. And we're going to dive right in. So, after you go ahead and make your coaching game plan like this, if you want to leave it like that, not a problem. You can do it. If you want to have a little bit more control of when your players sub in, you build your rotation just like this, and we're going to hop into rotation timeline. Okay? And the reason I say do that, if we go ahead and look of how this just default built, for whatever reason, we got 4 players subbing out at the 7-minute mark in the first quarter. Dragic, Levine, Patrick Williams, Vucevic. That's a mass sub right there. The rest of the game, it looks pretty good. As far as the mass subs are concerned, but the way these minutes are broken down could be completely different, right? Uh, we're not gonna do anything there. So, what I recommend doing is tweaking when your players sub in and out, so you have a better distribution of your substitution. So what we're going to actually do is, now that I showed you how to build the rotation like we've done the last couple of years, I'm going to go over and I'm going to release my control over the Bills if it wants to. I should probably hit confirm. Okay, now we're back to my Magic. Alright, now I have done this for the Magic. So I set it up exactly how I did, and then I went in and I adjusted when my players sub in and out. So we're going to go ahead and go over that for you here. So this is how it is. Now you can see in my starters, I have them at 30 minutes, 35, 35, and then I do a 30, 25. The way my team works, that's how I'm doing it for my 10-man rotation. Of course, you can do however you want to do it. I was not able to, and then you're going to play with it. So you're going to find that you're not going to be able to make everything work out mathematically in the rotation timeline because it's 48 minutes. So you can't divide everything by 5 like you can on the main screen. But you can get dang close. And that's exactly what I've done. And if you want to use this, I have this uploaded for you. We'll get that to you get that more to you in a second. But as you can see here, I have split up when I want my players out. I have elected for my 2 main guys, Gary Trent and Franz Wagner, to go deep in the first quarter, get a rest towards the end, that quarter break in, then come in and finish out the second quarter strong, play the first quarter all the way through, kind of rinse and repeat, and come in and finish the fourth quarter strong. Cole Anthony, I have him coming out a little bit earlier and then coming back in to work with the second unit, both in the second quarter and in the third quarter. He's going to be in there with a little bit of the second unit. And how I've split up, this is just how I want to split up my substitutions for my team. This is, again, user preference, but they made it really easy. You get the rotation built really, really well with the increments of 5 method on the main screen. All you got to do is just come in and just adjust these players when they sub in and out. Now, if you are a 10-man rotation, you want to use this, you might have to tweak a couple things. This is uploaded for you if you're on PS5. All you have to do is go over and search my gamertag, Schneitman1. As you can see, I did just update it. I did tweak it a little bit. But it's just SGN 10-man rotation. This will get you set up. So if you're on PS5, you really don't have to do too much other than start with that initial setup. I do recommend that even before you download it. And then there are a couple other things you're going to want to do. So after you do this, you need to go over and we're going to do some conditional coaching, because the biggest knock with rotation timeline, which is why I haven't used it in years past, and last year they implemented this but it didn't work very well, this year it works much better, is that it would stick to the players' minutes come high water no matter what. So foul trouble, who cares? We're going to keep playing them. They're exhausted, who cares? So we're going to go, you want to go and do conditional coaching. And I already have mine set up for the 10 players that I play, but we're going to show you with another player who currently doesn't have a conditional coaching. And all you're going to do is hit add a command, and we're going to create a simple command. Go down to foul trouble, select it, and you're going to select the player. For this, we're going to pick a person, Jonathan Isaac. He's hurt, so he's a perfect person. You're going to select your player. And then we're going to confirm it, and I always just name it their last name so I know who it is. We're just going to name it Isaac. And then it's going to create that. But we want to go in and edit this command. So once you bring it back to the screen, hit X or A if you're on Xbox, I believe. We're going to go in and edit this command. And as you can see, this is set up that foul trouble by default is going to keep that player in until they hit 3 fouls in the first quarter. Why 2K would do something like this when it's common knowledge that 2 fouls in the first quarter, you're done. So on this 3, you're just going to hit X and edit it and switch it to 2. You're going to go down here to the 4th in the second quarter and switch it. So what we have now is if Jonathan Isaac gets 2 fouls in the first quarter, he's going to sit. He'll get back in, but if he gets a 3rd foul in the second quarter, he's going to sit. You then need to tap over to go to your page 2, so it's going to be your trigger button. We're going to switch over here, and we're going to switch this to 4, which means if he gets a 4th foul in the 3rd quarter, he'll sit. That means no matter what, he has the 5th and 6th foul in the 4th quarter to play with. That's all you have to do, guys, and then you just back out and you save it. And you do that for every single one of your players. It takes 30 seconds a player. So if you do your 10 players who are playing, it takes you 3 minutes to set this up. You do that for every single player, and that means that you don't have to worry about foul trouble when you implement that rotation timeline. And that rotation timeline is just building off of our increments of 5 rotation. We're just going to get better substitutions, more spread out, and you can kind of then choose who you want on the court and when, instead of always having to run a full second unit. You might be able to do what I'm doing and have a starter out there with some of your second units, or work the guys in and out and have a mix and match of maybe 3 bench players with 2 starters, or 2 bench players with 3 starters, or something like that. However you want to do it, guys. But this is how you're going to get the best rotation setup in 2K23 without having to worry about foul trouble, without having to overthink it, without having mass subs. This is what you're going to want to do, guys. I really hope you appreciate the content. If you do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, stay tuned to the next SGN video. Peace.